Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am here sitting present in the moment, and I thought it would be so exciting to kind of explain to you my understanding, at least, of our natal chart and what each sign kind of represents in our own chart and how it affects us in our daily life, how it affects our relationships, how it affects our job, how it affects our personal self, how we look at ourselves, how we grow, and all of that good stuff. I'm just going to preface this real quick. I have really bad allergies today, so if it sounds like I am stuffy or I keep clearing my throat, just know I'm not sick, none of that bad stuff or, detoxifying stuff. My cat woke me up by stepping on my face today, and this is the equivalent to that reaction. This is what's going on. For me personally, hopefully it's not too distracting. I'm going to try to get through this as easy as possible, make it as understandable as possible, and hopefully when all the big trucks keep driving by, you won't be able to hear them over my voice. I think it might be nice also, you don't have to join me for this part, but I do kind of want to clear our space a little bit. Cleanse my space, especially. Hopefully it'll help with the allergies. And yeah, just kind of sit here with me while I do this at first. Take some deep breaths in with me. Now I'd like to take a deep breath for 4, hold for 2, and then release for 4. So we're going to do that 3 times while I play my Tibetan singing bowl. And yeah, you can either fast forward through this part or sit and enjoy this little moment where we can be present together. So thank you. If you are joining, I appreciate it. Let's go. Deep breath in. One more deep breath in. Thank you for that. So, my big plan for today will consist of me explaining my own chart in these terms. So I use Cafe Astrology. It's a free website. You need your first name, your place of birth, your birthday, your time of birth, and then you're good to go. So basically, each planet has its own definition. So your sun sign is like your it's like who you are at your core. It's your morals. It is your it's your life force. Like, probably going to resonate most with this sun sign, but it does not apply to everything. So for me personally, my sun sign, in case you didn't know already, was an Aquarius. And I'm just going to explain to you through their little explanation here what the sun sign means. So that's your character, your personal identity, your ego, your life, your creative life force, your will to live. Just as the planets revolve around the sun, we derive our life purpose from the sun in our natal charts, if that makes sense. So our sun sign is the one that reasons, that makes the final decision, that gives us our overall vitality. You know, it is kind of like the boss in the chart. So for me personally, my Aquarius, my morals are more, focused on freedom and allowing, everybody their right to have their own views and their own opinions, and to show people that they can break free from their social conditioning. So Aquarius is really, really, really value independency, freedom, like innovation. We like to take in all factors and combine them into one that makes most sense. So we're very analytical about our thinking. We very much like to find all the pieces to the puzzle so we can see the full puzzle before we start really making our decisions. But once we do make our decisions, we are very headstrong about our decisions. We will fight tooth and nail to stand up for what we believe in. And when they say that this is the age of the Aquarius, I'm sure a lot of you get that kind of, vibe that there's a need for people to get along and see that our differences aren't that different, and that we are at the core human beings, and we revolve around love. And that's a big thing I think I'm trying to push right now, is that, openness of like, you should always remain in your heart center, because it will never steer you wrong. You can't really pull a fast one on an Aquarius, because they can usually see from all sides your ego, your emotion, your like kind of just where you're coming from. So we feel that, and if you're being insincere about that, we can tell, and that's fine. It's just a part of our trait that I mean, we don't have all the best traits, I can tell you that, as much as I love being an Aquarius, and I am, very grateful for being born when I was, because I do feel like it does play to a lot of the strengths that I find very important today, and during these times. I feel like I see a sense of belonging for everybody, and it's like confusing to me when it doesn't happen like that. Like, I don't like things that are unjust or biased. I feel like everybody should be equal, and everybody has the right to have their own opinions and values, and just like everybody else does. And I think that's what brings us together as a human being, is having differences of opinions, which means that we're always constantly growing. And me, I love the fact that you can never stop growing, and growing personally is the it's our job here. So how lucky are we that it's something that we can always work on and always improve and shift. And it's just, I don't know, it's such a friggin' blessing when you look at it like this. These are tools that you can continuously keep learning, and our ability of growth is like unstoppable, which means you're unstoppable. And I find it kind of sad that we're raised in a world where we're told that we're nothing, and that we don't mean anything, and that we're harming more than we're helping. And I want to let you know, that's not true. They've indoctrinated you. They've told you lies. They want you to hate yourself, and they want you to look badly upon yourself, because it's easier to control you when you think that you're a piece of dirt. And you're not. You're a fucking star. You are part of our past brothers and sisters that have, walked this path before and are incredibly blessed to come back here again and experience it during this time. This is something that I truly believe in, soul contracts, and I truly believe that we all decided to be here right now. And if I can put anything out there, it's that, you belong here, and there's nothing wrong with you, and there's everything wrong with the system that we have. And whatever you feel like you're mismatching, and you don't understand what's going on, well, that's because this is all a lie, and you can't make sense of something that is based off of lies. So basically, our moon sign kind of represents how we feel, how we react, how that's going to be like different for everybody. Even like if you got your time off, then your moon sign might change as well in your reading. So you have to be very, very certain about the time that you were born. So basically, the moon sign, it reveals our habits, our reactions, and our instincts. It shows how we express and deal with emotions. It shows our innermost needs. It can show us how we nurture and how we nurture others and ourselves. And more than anything, it's just another tell into how we can kind of more navigate our responses to things. So for me personally, my moon sign is a Sagittarius. Much like my Aquarius sign, I need my freedom, I need my space. As long as I'm not cooped or caged, I'm usually generally very happy. I have a need also for, traveling and experiences. I love open spaces. I like light. I like lights a lot. I don't know if you've noticed in some of my videos already, but I'm a big fan of twinkle lights. I'm a big fan of colorful lights. These things just make me feel kind of like homey and comfortable and cozy. And on an emotional level, it's so important for somebody with the Sagittarius sign, because they need to feel like they're growing. I'm gonna get extremely antsy if I don't feel like what relationships I have or what I'm experiencing in my life isn't helping me grow. I'm gonna feel extremely stagnant, and a lot of this energy that I have is just gonna be vibrating inside of me, which is not good. You need to put it somewhere. And I feel like as well with my Aquarius side, seeking out truth and knowledge is incredibly important. And so like for, my ego and my character and how I react to things, if it's not true, then it's going to have a big effect over the way that I react towards that situation. And so now me knowing that, going into a situation, if I feel like I'm being lied to, instead of blowing my top off and being out of control of my emotions, I can kind of take a step back and think, okay, like, why is this person lying to me? Why do I feel like they feel the need that they cannot be sincere or honest? What are they going through that they feel like they can't be honest with themselves? All these other questions, as opposed to me just living in my ego and being forcibly angry or upset because something that they're doing isn't matching up with my morals or my character. So I have to, avoid emotional intensity, because, I am very capable of being fired up about ideas and situations. But if I dwell on them, or if I, don't understand the complexity of my emotions or others' complicated emotions, then there's that ability for me to step out of line and just have no self-control over the way I react to something. So these things are very important for me to understand, that like if I want to be honest and helpful towards a situation, I have to really take a look inside myself and understand where these things are coming from first before I act or react. I'm a very big advocate of, taking a step back, going for a walk, just getting out of the situation in general before I react to it. If I don't do that, I know I have a lot of friends and family who can attest that I will blow my top, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for the other people in my life. So that is something I've been actively working on, and I am so grateful to understand now that this is not something that is out of my control, which is how it felt at the time. Was, I used to explain it as just going red and just like blacking out and not remembering my reaction towards something. It was that viscerally intense, and that's not healthy. So honestly, being able to take a step back from situations, kind of getting a bigger picture for what's going on, understanding where they're coming from, and that they have a right for their own, opinions and views and values. And even if it doesn't sit with my values, it doesn't make their values any more wrong, or it doesn't make mine wrong. It just means that we have a difference of opinion, and that's totally okay. But yeah, you can get really fired up and wrapped up in your own ego, so you kind of just need to meet it. You kind of need to say, hi, ego, I love you, and I understand that you are a tool and you are essential for my experience in this world. You allow me more than my five senses. You give me a big reach to feel this density, and I appreciate all the lessons that you bring me, and I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, you are not in control of me. I have you as a experience, and I appreciate you as such, but I will only call upon you when I feel like that is necessary, and only at a controlled manner, so that I don't feel overly egotistical, or I'm not, out of control of what's really in my heart center, and not just my roots, my sacral. Like I'm trying to incorporate everything into that, which, until you know that these are things that you need to incorporate, you're kind of stuck stagnant in one reaction or one way of doing things. I'm here to tell you, you're not stuck. You're not put in a box, okay? You have so much control over who you are and how you are, and it just takes learning about those things first for you to be able to start making those changes. I think acknowledgement is like the first step in changing anything. So when you even know how to acknowledge these things, that gives you such a big advantage over how you're going to react to a situation. Okay, well, I'm going to move to the rising sign now, because I feel like that was a long explanation over how my moon sign affects me personally. I hope that was helpful. So your rising sign, it defines, your first impression. So how people view you when you first meet them is probably going to be more around this sign. So my Aquarius side, is very like analytical. I like my knowledge. I like my alone time. I like feeling, just independent, right? And then my ascendant sign, my rising sign, people are going to see me as this more so as my Aquarius side. So if you're not in check, you could be really confusing people about the kind of person that you are when you first meet them, and they might get a judgment over you because they feel like you're not being your authentic self. Well, that's why you need to utilize these things and have them flow equally within you, so that you're not, you're not stepping out of who you are as a person. You are just bringing in more tools of, who you are to help explain that. And, I'm really grateful personally that my rising sign is Cancer. I feel like that gives people a lot better look of who I am as a person, because my values hold very strongly as an Aquarius. Being a Cancer rising, I feel I feel deeply, and I feel connections strongly, and I feel that when I'm able to let down those guards around people, they really get an insight of who I am. It's not just like, oh, like this is a, girl who's emotionally in tune, she's, open, and, she wants to have these raw conversations. Like, it's also like, oh, these raw conversations don't just have to do with the ego. Like, this is like depth of intellectual conversations that, this person is able to carry. So when I start, deviating from my emotional side and my ability to express myself in that way, and I start being able to bring in my Aquarius side that's a little bit more analytical and has a little bit more of a theme to it, I think people start to see that as like a fuller picture, a more full spectrum of the kind of person that they are, the kind of person I am and what I'm gonna be giving to them. Because I think that's really important, is, allowing people to see, of course, the best side of you, but also, understanding that there is a depth to you that, getting to know that person more and more, you're going to be, almost surprised by the, kind of experience or knowledge that they have because of, the way that they're able to intermingle these different signs. So I'm just going to read you this little snippet. The ascendant or rising sign represents our physical appearance, our physical bodies, and overall health, and the body ego. So this could be how you dress, how you express yourself, your kind of natural defense mechanisms or personal defense mechanisms, how we adapt to things, how we cope with our environment. Our ascending sign really represents our impression of the world around us and our expectations of others, where we are naturally hesitant or enthusiastic, for example, how we begin new projects, or how our attitude towards others and new experiences come about. So for me, with a Cancer rising, likely come across as a gentle creature. Something about me feels familiar. I'm rather sensitive to my environment around me. My MS especially, I notice my Cancer sign affects my MS a lot. Just also being empathic and highly sensitive when I'm in public, and it's a little overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. If I have no control over it, I definitely feel like flustered, which is fine. I'm the type of person who reads my emotion, who expresses my emotions on my face. Like, I am not very good at hiding the way I feel whatsoever. You'll probably see my emotions before I even register them, to be completely honest. So my mood is like very important. If I am in a bad mood, then I really need to shift that to something else. Otherwise, people around me are going to really notice it, and it's not fun. So I have to be extremely, extremely careful about how I let my Cancer side come out, because it can be overwhelming, not just to me, but to others as well. I find that surrounding myself with supportive people is really important. If I feel like I'm around people who are, just gonna judge me or make me feel uncomfortable, like I can't be in that situation, because I do feel that from them, and it makes it much more harder for me to live my authentic self when I can feel somebody else's opinion of me. Cancer rising, some people might label me as sensitive, emotional, or moody. But I find that when I wasn't in control of it, that, that was really something that I experienced. And, I gotta be really, really careful. And I'm the type of person that if you don't see me often, it's probably because I don't feel very comfortable around you, or something about the situation doesn't make me feel very comfortable. Like the amount of times that my body has told me not to go somewhere specifically, and I didn't listen when I definitely should have. It's just more affirming to me that I need to listen to myself and, be present in myself, because your intuition will always try to tell you whether something is safe or not. And so for me personally, being Cancer rising, the moon has a very strong influence on my chart because of the placement of the moon in my sign. It can really refine my personality and the way that I project to others. So I gotta be really, really careful about the way I approach the world, because if I feel threatened or unfamiliar, I feel like I need to protect myself, and when I protect myself, it is usually to withdraw. So I might come off as shy or aloof or not caring. A lot of times I come off probably as a little bit too innocent and sweet, which I have gotten so much. People meet me and then they start to get to know me and they're like, wow, I thought you were a completely different person than who I thought you were. And to be quite honest, that was when I wasn't as in tune to all of my different parts of me. Now that I'm starting to understand these different parts of me, I can see like, oh yeah, I could understand why I came off really, really sweet and unassuming. But that's my Cancer side, It's very like I love and I nurture and I want to hold and help, and if I were to cuss all the time and explain about my deepest, darkest parts of myself, I think people would be a little thrown off by that. So if anything, I feel like I'm extremely blessed to have this part of me, especially that I'm starting to understand a little bit more. It's all a part of my tool belt. It's not a part of my everyday life that I have to, I really need to honor it. And if I can teach any of this to you guys, it would be to honor all of these parts of you, because they are so important and they make such a big difference. So yeah, basically I went over the sun, moon, and rising. I don't know if you want me to go fully into depth of the rest of these guys, but yeah, again, just Astro Cafe, what is it called? Cafe Astrology. Sorry. So yeah, go onto Cafe Astrology, find out all of these different parts of you through your natal chart, and start piecing together who you are and kind of how you want to affect the world. Give yourself a little bit more control over how you help and how you take in and how you give. That's just something that I learned. It's something that I found very helpful, and I hope this is helpful for you as well. Again, thank you so much for being with me here today. I know this was kind of lengthy, but I appreciate your willingness to hear me out. And yeah, I wish you the best of luck of finding out your own signs and the way that they affect you and you affect them. But yeah, thank you again for joining me. I love you all. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I'm sure I'll be back soon with another video for you guys. Okay? I love you so much. Goodbye.